We're not
All
done.
right, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Rotary Club. I am Jane Klingman Scott, who is the president-elect. Our president, Jason Piasecki, I think is trying to get his seat behind the third base in whatever stadium he happens to run across today. The program today is going to be from Walt Gakowski, who will give us an update on the Muskegon Clippers Summer Collegiate Baseball Team. And Walt, you have a partner with you. We'll introduce them when we get around to it. Okay. We'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and then a reflection from your own Jane Klingman Scott. It says that right there. We don't have any student guests today. They are all spring breaking someplace. And as we end the meeting, we will recite the four-way test. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please take a seat while I offer the reflection. Since Sunday, I have had the experience of, or the vicarious experience of grandparents dancing at their granddaughter's wedding. Another grandparent whose granddaughter is the student of the month in the 10 Sleep Middle School. I'll let you guess who that is. I have had the experience of a young, sensitive, artistic boy in a village in England, of two young women who in the 1920s were working their way up from the swamplands of Mississippi to an adult life. I've had the experience of a good friend of mine who I found out was a cheerleader for a wrestling team in high school. And all of this experience is between my route from Bluffton to downtown back to Bluffton about 4 or 5 times a week. But one of the stops there is the Hackley Library. The experience of other people, either personally or vicariously, is what builds empathy, which builds community, which builds relationships, and which inspires us to bring resources to the people that we are exposed to, either here or in Mississippi or Ukraine or wherever. We build personal relationships. We feel like we need to build the resources. And that happens to be 2 of the 8 pillars of the Rotary International Peace Academy. So as you go about your route, I hope it's longer than Bluffton to downtown. Pay attention to all of those people that you meet along the way, because building those relationships is what's going to build peace in our community. Thank you. Convene the meeting by introducing visiting Rotarians and guests. So if Melissa Moore, Melissa Moore, Lisa Stafford, Tim Leip, Tim, are you going to introduce your guests now or later? Okay. So Lisa Stafford and Jim Fisher, if you would come up with your guest, that would be great.
Go right on.
Such a gentleman.
The 2 orange dots.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I would like to introduce my guest, Mary Twash. She is the Health, Safety, and Environmental Manager with an automotive supplier up in Montague, Aludyne, formerly known as Chasix, Hayes Lemmertz, CMI Dearborn. She's been there 21 years. She's at that point in her career that she's saying, well, what's next? And Mary, look around. This is what's next. I hope you will join us.
Thank you. Thank you. Do you want to vote for this way, please? Okay.
Where am I, right here?
Yeah, under orange dots.
Good afternoon. I am pleased to introduce 2 guests and 2 prospective members from West Michigan Works. Larry Sanders is the Talent Solutions Manager and oversees the operation in Muskegon. And Tara Becker is newly the Community Resource Specialist for West Michigan Works. So welcome them both.
Today, we have no student guests. They're all on spring break. So we're going to go right into our program, which is going to be introduced by our own Tim Lipen, and we're welcoming the Muskegon Clippers. And I'll let Tim tell us more about it.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, thank you. I'm here today to introduce the speakers. First, I'd like to introduce Pete Galkowski, right here. Pete's the owner of the Muskegon Clippers. He's a local entrepreneur. He's been involved in the subways in town, Extra Innings, which is a baseball training facility, and a variety of different commercial real estate things. I asked them about their baseball careers, and of course they were very happy to talk baseball. Pete played at Muskegon Community College. Before that, he was at Muskegon Catholic Central. I'm sure he was a star. What position did you play?
I played first base and I pitched.
Pitcher and first base. He also has coached youth baseball for many, many years, and of course now is the principal owner of the Muskegon Clippers. Next to Pete is Walt Galkowski. They're brothers, by the way. Gov's Market, right?
Yes.
All right. Does that ring a bell to some of you folks who've been here a while? Walt is a retired high school administrator. He was a classroom teacher as well. He taught social studies, government, and economics. He played baseball for Muskegon Catholic Central. He also played at Central Michigan University and was recognized there. He was a center fielder. Walt coached at Muskegon Catholic for 4 years. He coached at high school baseball at North Muskegon for 19 years. He coached at Mona Shores High School for 11 years, and he's been the head coach of the Muskegon Clippers for 8 years. Now, if you add that up, he's not that old, really. While he coached at Mona Shores, he also coached the Clippers. He recently retired as the head coach of the Clippers, and now he's our general manager. And today they're going to talk about the Muskegon Clippers, which is a baseball team and not a boat. Walt Galkowski.
Thank you, Tim. And Tim Lipan, by the way, is also a valued member of our organization. Tim not only does our PA at Marshfield, but a host of other things. So thank you, Tim. I want to thank the Rotary Club for inviting us today. Gives us a chance to talk about something that we care deeply about. And there's two things that we're going to address today. Number one, I want to tell you a little bit about our organization and who the Clippers are and what we do. And maybe most importantly, I want to talk to you about what I think is one of the most important pieces of Muskegon's history, and that's a 105-year-old Marshfield. So more about that in just a moment. I got PowerPoint here, which I hope. Oops, sorry. There we go. Real quickly, because I know we don't have a ton of time, Muskegon Clippers are part of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League. It was founded in 1987. There are approximately 51 summer collegiate leagues around the country, the most famous of which is the Cape Cod League. That's where the nation's best college players go every summer to play and to hone their skills and play in front of professional scouts. We are one of 51 leagues. This is a nonprofit league. All of the organizations in our league are nonprofit organizations. Many others, of course, are for-profit. We have had over 100 alumni of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League play in the big leagues. We have had one so far, but we've had several kids in professional baseball, but only one so far has graced the the Major League Diamond, and that's Ryan Doro, who was with the Texas Rangers part of last year. We play a 42-game schedule. It starts in June, runs through the end of July, early June to the end of July. So the kids come from all over the country. We have a 12-team league. We are in the Northern Division of that league, and it's comprised of teams from Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. This is just a quick glance at the Great Lakes teams. I won't run through all of those. We're a little bit of an outlier. Our closest road trip is about 3 to 3.5 hours. So we spend an awful lot of time on the bus, and it's one of the reasons I'm not coaching anymore, and moved into the general manager's job. But it's an extremely competitive league. All of these players have designs on being professional athletes. They're extremely serious. The quality of baseball is extremely high. These are just some of the schools that have sent kids to Muskegon to play for the Clippers. You can see those on the screen, but some big schools, Missouri, we had a player from Southern California last year, Western, Central, Eastern, and we've had somebody from the Citadel, Toledo, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. So we have drawn kids from all over the country. We've had players from Texas. Last year we had about 4 or 5 players from Texas. We've had players from California. We've had players from the state of Washington. We've had players from Florida. They come here, they live with host families, and for 2 months we play baseball and we get after it. There's only one night a week when we don't play, and that's Monday. So those 42 games are really compressed. We do have an all-star break that gives us a few days off. But let me go ahead and show you a little bit by way of a video presentation here, which will give you a little bit better idea of what goes on.
The Muskegon Clippers ended the 2019 season with a record of 22-19 and a second-place finish in the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League's Northern Division. While the Clippers fell just short of their goal of winning the Northern Division championship, they did qualify for the Great Lakes League postseason playoffs for the first time in their brief history. Despite the playoff loss to the eventual champions, Lima Locos, 2019 proved to be an extremely successful season, both on and off the field. 2019 saw several Clippers recognized for their on-field accomplishments by being honored with postseason awards. Austin Eifrid, a shortstop from Ashland University, and pitcher Brady Miller from Western Michigan University were named to the Great Lakes League's second team, while a second Western Michigan Bronco, Jimmy Allen, was an honorable mention selection. In addition to his league recognition, Austin Eifrid etched his name into the Clippers record book by setting new season records for runs scored, stolen bases, and the number of times hit by a pitch. Much of the on-field success in 2019 can be traced to the Clippers pitching staff. Western Michigan's Brady Miller and the University of Toledo's Bryce Davis led the staff with 4 wins each, while Central Michigan University right-hander Ian Leatherman chipped in with 3 wins of his own. Ashland University's Austin Eifrid and Jimmy Allen of Western Michigan were key offensive performers. Austin finished the season with a .336 batting average while driving in 26 runs. Jimmy Allen was not far behind with an average of .303 and 27 runs batted in. The Clippers did not suffer from a power outage in 2019, hitting 27 home runs over their 22 games. Jimmy Allen and Rob Zerwoski of Hillsdale College led the Clippers in home runs with 4 round trippers each. Off the field, the renovation of Marsh Field continued in 2019 with the opening of an expanded Bud Light party deck. The party deck proved to be a popular spot for groups of all kinds wishing to enjoy a summer evening watching Clippers baseball. Marsh Field was also the site of several community events. These nights included a Muskegon Rotary Club night, an evening dedicated to veterans and first responders, as well as host family and fan appreciation nights. One of the most successful events was the second annual Clippers Clobber Cancer Night, where special one-time Clipper jerseys were worn and then auctioned off, with the proceeds directed to the DeVos Children's Hospital. The Clippers continue to show support for players of all ages, and once again welcomed a Muskegon Area Youth League team At each home game, these future Clippers had an opportunity to join the players on the field during batting practice, spent time in the dugout mingling with players and coaches during pregame, and finally joining one of their favorite Clippers on the field for the national anthem following the pregame introductions. Attendance at the old ballpark continued to grow in 2019, with Muskegon area baseball fans showing up in large numbers. The Clippers set an all-time attendance mark, drawing over 12,000 fans in their 22 home dates. Clipper fans were entertained between innings with a variety of games, such as Dress Like a Clipper or Catch a Flying Fish, to name just a few. Whether it is joining in on a seventh-inning rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, belting out the refrain of Sweet Caroline, or cheering on our pitcher as he faces that evening's beer batter, Marsh Field continues to be a lively and exciting place on those warm summer nights. For the first time in Muskegon Clippers history, our organization celebrated one of its players by retiring his number. Nolan Bryant has been a fan favorite during his 3 years as a Muskegon Clipper. Not only did his performance on the field warrant such an honor, but Nolan has served as a model for every young baseball player who comes to Marsh Field to watch our players perform. He has demonstrated a level of competitiveness, skill, and grit, along with a will to win that is unmatched. And he has done it all with dignity and class. These are traits all young players would be wise to emulate, and as a result of his efforts, no player will ever wear the number 5 jersey again. All in all, 2019 proved to be a successful season, and our organization looks forward to many more to come. Our thanks to our players and coaches who have worn the Clipper uniform over the years, as well as the many employees and volunteers who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make each game a special event. Thanks also to our dedicated host families who have opened their hearts and their homes to our players. We could not do this without your help. We would be remiss if we did not share our heartfelt thanks for those local businesses who have served as sponsors of Clippers baseball. Words cannot express how grateful we are for your support. Finally, we want to thank our fans who come to the ballpark. You have made this experience worth it. And we thank you for supporting not only the Muskegon Clippers, but the great game of baseball. We look forward to 2020 and those words that signal the dawn of a new season.
Thank you. That kind of gives you an idea of what it's like. We're very proud of what we're doing, and I think we're doing it the right way. And real quickly, we try hard to make this a family-friendly opportunity. $5 to get into a game, $3 for seniors. We have a party deck. If anybody's interested in renting that, we're going to have some cards there. You can contact us. We can handle 40 people or more up there. We have music, lots of music. We have adult beverages, as you saw. A concession, obviously, and some in-between innings entertainment. We try to honor a Little League team each and every night. Those kids come out early. They shag during batting practice. They absolutely love it. They look up to these kids, our players, and our players do a good job relating to them. They run the bases after each home game. We have several promotions. If we strike out 10 batters, opposing hitters, you get a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. You saw a little bit about the cancer game. We have Homer the mascot, who, by the way, actually is Tim Lipan in there. And we have a nightly beer batter. So we identify one opposing hitter, and if he should strike out in that at-bat, everybody gets $1 off their beer. So that's pretty popular. So it is a lot of fun. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over a little bit to my brother Pete, who's going to talk to you quickly about our other mission, our other goal, and that is to preserve this 105-year-old ballpark for generations to come.
Thank you very much. My thanks also to the Rotary for allowing us to be here today, and also to thank you guys for participating every year in a Rotary outing at the ballpark. I know you have a lot of fun when you come, and it's great to see you there. It's awesome. A little bit of history. Well, first we talked about Walt and I playing for Muskegon Catholic Central. We actually played on the same team. When I was a senior, he was a freshman, and at the year-end banquet, our coach introduced me and said, here's Pete Galkowski, who is a pretty good fielding first baseman, but he was out-hit by his freshman brother. So I'd left that feeling really, really good about myself. The Clippers started, actually, it all started with Marsh Field. Around 2009, a group of us, myself, Len Piasecki, who most of you probably know, and a guy named Jim Greville, got together and we're talking about baseball as we usually do. We took a look at Marsh Field and said, hey, something's got to be done with this. This place there's too much history. It's too great of a place to just let go. The city was unable to keep it up, and it was looking like it was just going to turn into a parking lot at some point. So we went to the city. We actually met with a gentleman named Bob Kuhn, who was the DPW director at that time, and we talked about a public-private partnership which could bring, Marshfield back to life. Basically, we agreed to manage the ballpark for them, for the city, in return for us able to use it as we so please in order to generate revenue. So we were able to put signage up and get sponsorships. We were able to run leagues and charge admission to games and that sort of thing. That was pre-Clippers days. But we went to the city council. They didn't ask us any questions. They just voted unanimously to let us do it. So we were like, whoa, okay. What do we get ourselves into here? But that was 2010. We started out, Muskegon High School was playing there. We had a men's city league playing there. So we slowly and surely began to repair the stadium. Some of the things we did was, with the help of local businesses and community groups, I got to get that to the next slide probably. Is that good?
Pointed here. You can see it.
Oh, yeah. I was, we were able to invest a lot of money. We put in a new scoreboard. We put a brand new infield surface in. We expanded the dugouts. We added netting to protect the fans, and we installed some stadium seats. There's other things we did too, but it was like every year we wanted to make an improvement and make it look better. Around 2014, we decided to put together a summer collegiate team, so we actually ran the league, and it was called the Michigan Summer Collegiate League. We had like 6 teams from the state of Michigan, and it was an okay league, but it got us started. But we had dreams of being in a bigger league like the Great Lakes League, which is an established league. It took us about 3 years to get into the Great Lakes League from that point. Once we finally got accepted, it was a happy day for us, and we were on our way. As far as the ballpark goes, too, a little bit of history there. The Clipper name comes from the old Muskegon Clippers, who played through 1948 to 1950 at Marsh Field, and they were a farm team of, at one point, the White Sox, the Tigers, and the New York Yankees. A gentleman by the name of Elston Howard, who a lot of you probably have heard of, played for the Muskegon Clippers back then in 1948 or 49. So we used that name thinking we wanted to bring out some of the history of the ballpark, as well as and to attach it to our new team. As far as who has played there in the past, there's a list. List is on the board there, but there were 28 28 Hall of Famers who have either played or coached or participated in games at Marsh Field. So that's pretty incredible history there. Among them were Hank Greenberg, Satchel Paige, list goes on and on. So that's pretty cool. Today, the Marsh Field is the home of the Muskegon Clippers, obviously. The Big Reds, Muskegon Big Reds, both the JVs and the varsity play there. We have what we call a Friday Night Lights game, where we invite 2 local high school teams to come out to Marsh Field and play under the lights and bring their fans. And we obviously use that to promote Marsh Field and the Clippers, but also to honor the high school teams. And we use it as a fundraiser for the ballpark itself. And this year, I think we have 8 Friday nights in a row, starting supposedly tomorrow, but that game has already been canceled due to the fine weather here in Muskegon. We also host the GMAA City Tournament. And we host the local high school all-star game, which is a big event for us every year. We run summer clinics for the Muskegon area youth, and in those we get Clippers to come out, the Clipper players, and work with the kids, and it's really great. The kids just love it. We get the players out there; they're playing music and they're dancing and they're doing all kinds of fun stuff, and it's a great event for us every year. Summer tournaments we also we also run. So we have used Marshfield to its fullest extent. We're still looking at more events, and we're always looking for help. We have many good sponsors, including Meyer, Mercy Health, to name a few. But again, we're always looking for more. We're also looking for one more host family for this season. So if anyone has interest and has an empty bedroom, would like to host a player for 2 months in the summer, that's available to you as well. I'll let Walt finish up a little bit on the mission and what our vision is and what we're looking to do with the ballpark in the future. So thank you.
So quickly, moving on to our vision. This is, since I've retired, and I'm a self-professed baseball fanatic, I will admit it, and the ballpark and the game of baseball means a great deal to me personally. I think every person, my closest friends, and every adult who has been influential in my life I've met through the game of baseball. Marshfield has an unparalleled history. And we, as one of our chief goals, our chief mission is to try to preserve it, as I mentioned earlier. I think it would be, frankly, a shame to see that ballpark deteriorate. And it's 105 years old. And we have put some things in it, over $275,000, some of that, a good amount of that personal money, to try to get it up to where it should be. And I think it could be an absolute jewel. So we have been working on that. These are some of the things that we're striving to gain. We need a covered grandstand. These are not necessarily a priority list. We need an increased seating capacity. There aren't enough seats for the people that want to come on some nights. Concession area too small, press box too small. Dugouts, the original dugouts from 1916. We enlarged them one year outward, but if you're 5'11", you can't stand up in it. And they're poured concrete, walls are cracking, chipping. We give it a paint job every year, but they need to be replaced. We've got some improvements yet to do. There's a 4-foot drop-off from second base into right field. We'd love at some point in time to have a clubhouse, nothing fancy, but a place where visiting teams could keep their stuff. Right now, we throw it against a fence. Restrooms are absolutely inadequate. We have one urinal in there. This is just what we do. If you go by Marshfield, Peck and Laketon any time of the day, starting about now, you'll see people out there working. I know, I'm almost done here. And it's always easy to find who the baseball coach is because he's got a rake in his hand. So that's pretty much what we do. Real quickly, we open on June 7th. All of our games are at 7:05. You can see the prices there. If you're interested in tickets, you can go to MuskegonClippers.com. I don't know if we have time for questions. I would just like to say this quickly. This is a shameless plug. We need help. And if anybody out there shares our vision to try to preserve what, again, is an important part of our history, please contact us, let us know, see us when we're finished. If it's not a monetary gift, then maybe somebody to serve on a board, provide your time and talent to help us get this done. I've sort of committed it to my remaining days on earth here to see it preserved for coming generations. And if you can help, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for your time. I'm sorry if I went over. If there are any questions, be happy to take them, and Tim could take some as well.
Thanks for your presentation. So how do you fill your roster? Is there a draft? Do players
Yeah.
apply, or how does it?
That is my job now, and we have built relationships with various colleges, and I contact those guys, those colleges. Sometimes they contact me. For example, Western Michigan has been great to us. Michigan State has been great to us. So if I contacted Billy Gernon at Western Michigan, he would say, yeah, I got 3 kids I'm looking to place. Most colleges have a coach on their staff that are looking to place their players in a competitive summer league. So it's just sort of done that way. There's no draft.
Thank you for all you've done. And a shameless plug, your new manager is a family friend of mine, Logan Fleener.
Fleener.
Some people will know that that's Bill and Judy Fleener's grandson.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's coming to Muskegon, and it's going to be an exciting summer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Logan played for us, 4 or 5 years ago. This is sort of on his career path. He's an assistant coach at Tennessee Wesleyan right now, University in Nashville. And when I decided to step aside, I told Pete that I think Logan would be the perfect fit. And we're grateful that he's going to be here this summer. He'll do a tremendous job.
Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the Women League at Marshfield?
There's a book out there, and it's called The History of Muskegon Baseball, and it is true. If you've seen A League of Their Own, that movie, which most of us probably have seen, we had a team here called the Muskegon Lassies, and they played at Marshfield as well. Obviously, during the war, women kind of stepped in the place of men and provided us with a national pastime. So, yes, there's all kinds of things in that book you could read about, too, yeah. But we're proud of that, and we didn't mean to slight the women. We certainly...
No, I just lived next door to 2 Lassies.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, we love hearing this history. I have a question for Tim. Are we going to have a Rotary Night Out at the Clippers this year?
We are, and we know the date. Except I don't. But it's early June. We will have a Rotary Night Out there.
It's on the calendar, I know that, but I can't recall it at this time. Any other questions? Yeah. Yes, it is. It's on Clippers, MuskegonClippers.com. There's all kinds of information there. There's ticket information. You can obviously buy a ticket at the door. Sometimes I think we're one of Muskegon's best-kept secrets, but if you want to try it, I think you'll enjoy it. But even more important than the Clippers, to me, something that transcends that is trying to make sure we have a place where kids can play for generations to come. And that's sort of what I'm committed to, we're committed to. And it's just a goal that's near and dear to my heart. And, but we can't do it without help. So if anybody can help, it'd be great. Even if it's something small, if you want to buy a billboard for the outfield or make some kind of contribution, it would be greatly appreciated. And I know that's a shameless plug, but
Well,
I'm at a point where I don't care anymore.
Well, I'd like to ask a question if I may.
We have, excuse me, one last thing, I'm sorry. We have many sponsorship opportunities listed here. You can see us when we're finished. Thank you again.
Well, that is a wonderful part of the Muskegon culture, and the future for the kids being able to play baseball is a wonderful vision. I'm not going to fine you for your plug. Instead, I think the Rotary is happy to make a donation in your name for community economic development as thanks for coming to present this wonderful program. Thank you. Today we have on the next agenda point is an announcement from our own Ginny Sprague on another great sports event.
First of all, thank you to all of you who were the brave Rotarians. I know 31 of you were disappointed to have your teams go down in flames. But our congratulations to Don Crandall, whose Kansas Jayhawks won, and good for you. Now, we are going to draw 2 names. This lovely bucket is part of my Doe stuff. But the unimpeachable Nancy Crandall, no skin in the game, fair to all concerned, will draw 2 names from these other participants. You can shake them if you want, or just draw. Just one, okay. You'll get another chance. And you can read who is our lucky winner. And excuse my typo.
Well, our lucky winner of the second Paul Harris is Jenny McNeil. I'm just looking, I don't think she's here.
But I know she'll be excited to find that out.
And the third new Paul Harris is Ed Hendrickson.
Congratulations. And just one last note, as people watch their teams go down, I had quite a few people suggest next year we should do the women. So keep that in mind. We might do women and men, 16 of each. Think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, and congratulations to our new Paul Harris Fellows. Today, also, we have birthday announcements, and today, Jamie Hecker has a birthday on April 8th. Jay Griffin has a birthday on April 10th. Eric Seifert on April 11th. And Aaron Kuhn on April 13th. I know Eric is here. Is Jay here? Yep. So please, let's sing a song as they march up with their $10 gifts to us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Now we're going to move to the section on Member Spotlight. Every week we have a feature, one of our own, so that they can talk about what their vocational service, which is one of our 5 avenues of service for Rotary, means to them in their life. And this week, our featured guest is Andy Bulow.
I'm Andy Bilo, and I joined Rotary in 2018, soon after moving to Muskegon. I'm married. My wife's name is Beth. She's a coach and a photographer and an artist. And we don't have children. We have a dog and a cat. We live in downtown Muskegon, actually very near to the high school. And in my spare time, I'm a musician. I have a house full of keyboards, 2 pianos, an old antique 19th century pump organ, and then a room full of modern keyboards. And I spend a fair amount of time on weekends playing keyboards, listening to music, reading, walking. And of course, in the summer, I have another whole set of activities, and it usually involves being out on a boat on Lake Michigan sailing or being at the beach. I'm the president and CEO of West Michigan Symphony. I have been working for symphony orchestras my entire career, going on 35 years now. As CEO at West Michigan Symphony, I am the primary leader of the administration of the organization, working with the volunteer board of directors and directing the administrative staff, and working collaboratively with music director Scott Speck on planning our concerts, education programs, and various community activities. I love it. It's an incredibly rewarding job, and I can't imagine doing anything else. Well, Muskegon Rotary is the best Rotary club that I've ever been in, and I'm a member of the DEI committee. I love that group. We have great meetings, and I think we're doing great things.
Thank you, Andy. We have another announcement. Tim Arter has some important information for us. Tim is acting as our treasurer, and he is the president nominee. And presenting Tim.
Thank you very much, Jane. I just wanted to thank everybody who signed up for any of the PORS or polio events. I've seen quite a few of you in the audience here that have already done that. I want to encourage you to sign up if you haven't done already, or if you want to sign up for a second or third event, that would be great. One of the biggest reasons that we created individual invitations rather than just one invitation for it is so that we could gather information on a site-by-site basis as to how many attendees there will be. We're going to be providing light appetizers for the folks that come there, and so it's important for us to be able to provide that information to the location we're going to be there. So if you could sign up, that would be terrific. Wanted to also mention that since we last announced the locations, we told you we're going to add Salty Pecker, which is located near Seminole and the Seaway Drive. We did accomplish that last week. That's going to be on Friday, April the 29th. So we encourage you to look for the invitation that Kim Borsma sent out earlier this week. The last thing I want to talk about is we had hoped for targeted 15 sponsors, and fortunately we're at 11 right now. But if you have an interest in sponsoring the PORS for Polio program, we'd appreciate it. It's $250. Anybody on Zoom can send in their interest in doing that to Kim. Send a note to her. We've received a couple of sponsors that way, or you could see me afterwards. So thank you again for everyone who has signed up, and look forward to more people signing up using this Sign Up Genius invitation process. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Tim. Next, we are going to have our raffle. So if you win the raffle, Ed's going to conduct it, then you'll have more money to spend at the Poise for Polio. So there you go. Oh, he made his money back. Whoa.
Now that that's over, for 20 bucks. How much? $9.78.
Hey.
I told you it was lucky ones. Thanks, Eric. Awesome, thank you.
Okay.
Come on. Oh,
For $5.
let's make this one good.
Last three digits, please.
900.
900.
Well, we want to thank everyone for coming, especially our visiting Rotarians who are I've lost my visiting Rotarians, and I want to make sure that you understand that that's my fault and not because we don't appreciate you coming. So thank you. We have an announcement about next week's meeting. The next week's meeting will not be held in this room, but will be held at the Delta Convention Center in this building. So if you're come to this room, just keep on going, and you will find us down the hall just a little bit further. And then on May 5th, we will begin to meet at the Lake House. The next week's program will be the Muskegon Rescue Mission. The Muskegon Rescue Mission is an important organization serving the greater Muskegon community as they pop the cork on their public portion of their capital campaign. Come and hear what that is all about. To conclude our meeting, let's stand and say our four-way test. Of the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you for coming, and we'll see everyone next week.